Hi! As you probably already know, my name is Rebecca, and I'm a flutist at the MUSES School of Music. Before starting this video, I thought maybe I should write a script so that the speech wasn't jumbled as it probably is now, and that things would go smoother. But I felt this is something that's so passionate to me, that's really from my heart, and I should show it to you guys as that and not have it sound disingenuous. So, first I thought I would start and tell you briefly about the project, which you probably already know, unless you're watching the video as the first thing in the application. And then I will talk to you about the story, my boring life story about how I came to the idea of the project and what has influenced me and inspired me to do it. So, the long-term vision of this project is called MUSES, Music for Underserved and Extraordinary Students, and it's structured like a pre-college program for foster youth. MUSES students would teach the foster care children an instrument of their choosing, and it would be run by MUSES Community Outreach Program. Now, of course, this is quite a large goal, and it will take a lot of time to implement. So the project I am proposing to the Alsop Award is a short-term goal and short-term plan that will aid me in completing the long-term vision. I plan to pilot a workshop with Children's Aid Society where I teach 3 foster youth that are members of the organization the flute for 3 months, and at the end we'll put on a small concert. And I want to see their feedback, what they think, their ideas, and their feelings about learning an instrument and how it could be done in a broader setting. So, next part of the video, I will tell my very boring life story about how I came upon this idea in the first place. I read this absolutely fantastic book, which is right here, called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And in the book, she talks about so many things about an artist's life, and I highly recommend it for any artist living in the world now. But she talks about how ideas, she believes, are like physical beings that attach themselves to someone that they think can bring the idea to life. And thinking about this a lot, I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but it's an interesting concept, and sometimes I feel like this MUSES project is attached to me, and I need to get it out into the world, and that's one of the reasons I'm applying to this award, and I feel so passionately about it. But the reason that I am so passionate about foster youth and children in the foster care system is because my aunt actually works in the system on Long Island, and I would hear all the time stories of the children, and she once told me, you know, oh, I worked with a girl today finding a family for her, and I was very young, and I said, what do you mean you were finding a family for her? Didn't she have a family of her own? And she explained to me, of course, I'm so young, I didn't understand, how can anyone not have a mother and a father that loved them? And since that moment, I've always felt, I don't want to say connected, but inspired by them, passionate about them and the rights that they should have and sometimes don't. Another way that this idea was drawn to me was because I had a quarter-life crisis last year, and all good musicians and artists tell me that these never stop. But I had one, and I felt I would go home every day after a long day of school, practicing and doing work and doing my theory assignments, and I felt I was doing so much, but at the same time I felt empty. I felt that I wasn't accomplishing anything. I would just come home and feel unfulfilled, but yet I didn't have time for anything else. It was a very odd feeling. So I sat down and I opened my bullet journal and I said, I'm going to make a mind map of what happiness means to me, and to see if I could find the source of my unhappiness. And after doing this, I realized that I needed flute in my life, because flute was food for my mind, is food for my mind. I feel it challenges me, it lets me express myself. The thrills and joys of performing and playing with other people are incredible. But it's not enough to feed my soul. And what was enough to feed my soul was going out into the community and making an impact and serving communities that are underserved and unprivileged and don't have accessibility to music and to instruments. And so with this knowledge that I've now understood about myself, I was able to, with the background I have with the foster care system, combine them, and the idea came to me from somewhere in the universe, and here I am trying to make it happen. So that's the story of how this project came to be. I want to thank you so much for watching this video and for reviewing my application and giving me the opportunity to present my idea in front of you. And I'm so excited and so thrilled to meet you guys in the interview and share my passion and my inspiration for this project. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you.